Hello, everyone. Gather around. Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Tall Talk. How you doing, Corey?
I'm actually doing great, man. I've had a really nice evening. How about you, Tyler? How are you feeling?
Oh, not bad. I had a big meal tonight. Some vegan Baja Wish tacos, tofu based. Yeah, they're pretty delicious.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
Did you make those yourself?
No, actually got it from my girl's work. They're called Follow Your Heart. It's a vegan market slash diner restaurant. So yeah,
Nice.
I used to work there actually. So I get
that's
there
awesome.
Before you got fired. Yeah, for the incident.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Oh, okay. My fault. My
That's
fault.
why we're doing
that
the
wasn't
show
on
now.
the list tonight. My fault. This is an expose on what happened.
But
Funny enough, that's going to tie into our topic today, Siler. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
no way. Let's do it.
All right, guys, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, man. Ready as ever.
All right. The would you rather for this week is: would you rather be able to talk to animals, be able to communicate with them, or be able to control them with the power of your voice?
So just by speaking to him?
Yeah, I mean, you can make them do whatever you want. They're at your whim.
Ooh, whim.
Well, I didn't like that reaction, but yes. So initially, what would your thoughts be on that?
I don't know if I wanted to control them because that could be either for good or bad. I'd be able to want to talk to them. I've always wanted that actually, to see what they're feeling or what they think of us actually.
Right.
I think that's always cool, but to control them, I don't know. If it was for a greater good, then maybe, but
Right.
it could be also done for evil. But I think being able to talk to them, that would interest me more. Just get their whole understanding of what they do. And
Right.
yeah.
What encompasses their world. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Corey? What are you thinking on this initially?
I'm kind of following the same line of logic as Tyler is. I think that it would be really nice to talk to animals, but controlling them just by command is, I don't know, a little too authoritative for my liking.
Right.
But I don't know, because you kind of have the power to control any animal, right?
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely anything.
So, I mean, it would be really cool to swim with sharks and stuff and not have them bite you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that.
Right. You can be the very cautious Aquaman. Yes.
But I think I would like to just talk to him. I would just love to just have a conversation with my dog and find out what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
This whole time you just know he knew he hated you the whole time.
Yeah, dude. I could be
just
the
had
worst
ill will.
roommate he's ever had.
Damn.
Man. What a
That's
conversation
why he's
that would be.
always in another room.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't bother
Just
me.
walks away, just gives you that death stare and just trots up the stairs.
Yep. What about you, Cale?
This might be the one time that we actually all agree on the same thing for the would you rather. I've always been kind of the opposite of you guys, but I don't think I'm not thinking of anything that could be a positive in my mind for being able to control them. I feel like we shouldn't have control over other people and even more so animals. So I feel I'm going to agree with you guys to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to just imagine that from different parts of the world, they have the accents from that specific place.
I didn't think of that. That's funny.
That'd be really funny to hear this. Just any kind of animal from whatever place has that dialect. You're like, what?
Wow. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
What if your ability to speak to animals only goes as far as the language that you actually speak? So if if you go to China, the animals there wouldn't understand you because we only speak English.
yeah, the pandas
that's
are just
wild,
what? But
very interesting.
the only thing I could think of would be evil things for controlling animals would be
no.
controlling all of the fish to swim into the nets when you're out to sea trolling.
Yeah.
Just it would be. I think there's more potential for it to be bad than anything that would be good, unless I can't think of a positive. How would you control animals to where it would be beneficial to them?
Right.
Because they have a nature
exactly
built in already. They kind of know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
except for like climate change. I mean, they have no grasp of that or no way to combat that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it feels like if you were controlling them, it would really quickly go to something that's exploitative. And,
for sure.
And to where, like you're saying, like you would just use that ability for some type of personal gain, whether it be food or monetary or something. Like I don't know how you would have that power and not, or rather, I don't know how you would have that power and be able to control yourself and it.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. To have like a marriage of the two.
Yeah.
Right. And then animals act on natural instinct anyway. So it's not like I, as intelligent as they can be, I don't know if there's room for that for you to like talk like logically about it. Like, don't do that. Well, that goes against everything in my nature. And then you're going to try to convince it not to. I mean, it's like,
exactly. Yeah.
Don't eat that animal. It's like, well, I have to live. So, I mean, like I said, this is a rarity for us, but I'm agreeing with you guys. I would rather communicate. I would feel that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Just even with your household animals, or the dog. Oh, the perfect example: the dog next door. Instead of me yelling at it to shut up, I think, what's the deal? Let's make an agreement. Let's figure this out.
What's going on, huh? Why don't we have a little chat?
If we were able to talk to animals, we can conversate with them, maybe to work together instead of controlling, in a way.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. This is mutually beneficial. Let's do this. We won't dump a shit ton of plastic in your ocean if you do this.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
I think we would still be doing that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that we could learn. Like, well, this might be silly to say out loud, but I feel there's a lot to learn about the planet if you were able to talk with animals and converse and see what issues that animals actually have with things. Like, what is affecting them negatively? Can we make their lives better? Because I think that's the ultimate goal, at least in my life, to try and leave people with a positive perspective of myself and themselves after we interact. And having that with an animal would be really nice to have a like confirmation. It's like, oh, okay, I know that I had a meaningful conversation with this animal and we're both on good grounds right now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a whole nother level though. Yep. Yeah.
For sure. And I think that this would be a direct line to, if you could communicate with animals, I feel like all zoos would be shut down.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a sanctuary or something like that. Like, nothing wants to be in a cage, man.
So here's how to break out.
Here's the escape plan. I'm going to knock out the guard. I'm going to leave the keys behind the food dish. No, but I feel like there's that aspect of wanting to see animals, but also like I do feel guilty if I go to the zoo. I don't go very often. I've gone maybe like 3 times in my whole life. But like, as much as you can see it, it's just like, they don't want to be there, man.
That's really funny because I was going to ask a question. How you guys?
What's funny?
I was going to ask how you guys felt about zoos, and you just like,
oh, nice.
Yeah. You gave your opinion, Cale. I don't know. I have a mixed opinion. Like, I like them a lot because you get to see things you see them on TV, but it's not the same as seeing them in person.
Right.
But then at the same time, they're not in their natural habitat, and you kind of feel bad that they're there, stuck in behind a cage, doing like in the same kind of environment
enclosure
every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing changing.
Right. There's no stimulus.
Yeah.
They're like looking at people, sure, like, but they get used to that. And if nothing changes, if there's no other interactions, it's like there's nothing there.
I think that's really the job of the zookeeper, is to keep the animals stimulated.
Yeah.
We'll have to reach out to Dana.
Yeah.
That would have been a good
when you're ready to be on Tall Talk, let us know.
Absolutely. Would love your perspective.
Yeah. That was just a little quick little.
Yeah. In that same realm, do you feel it's less and I don't know the exact verbiage I'm supposed to use, but do you feel like a place like Aquarium of the Pacific is less impactful than like the zoo, like a normal zoo? since they're in water, they're in their natural habitat.
That's true.
Usually with other animals, what do you feel like that's less of a burden on the animals being in a situation like that versus the normal zoo?
That's a good question, because like most fish aren't really segregated outside, like by species, you know, like zoos are, like meerkats with meerkats, lions with lions. Whereas like fish, you can have plenty of them in the same enclosure.
Right. And it won't be that problematic or anything. So,
right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. The ethics on that are kind of hard, huh?
Right. It's like you're letting them be in an ecosystem together, but it's still controlled.
Right.
Yeah. But I wonder if those animals were in that, if you took those animals that were in that controlled like environment and you put them in an actual like live environment, if they would act differently, you know? Because
if they revert back to something.
Yeah, it's endless instead of being, you know, claustrophobic, but I don't know how to explain it. But
yeah, enclosed in this small thing where you're like, at some point you have to eventually like have mapped out this area. It's not big enough for you to like be surprised every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to be like in this endless thing and to that effect, are they not afraid of any predators then? If they're raised in are they fearful of anything?
Yeah, if they're in the aquarium, they're probably not like looking out for like hazards or anything. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, you feel like that base instinct would still be there though, because like like we've seen some like curious octopuses and fish and stuff like that are a little higher level of intelligence, but
for sure, we're asking more questions than getting answers on this episode. Our inquisitive brains are coming out today.
I did have a question. So like, if you could talk to animals, and you were being attacked by a predator, do you think being able to talk with that animal and communicate would make it stop doing what it's doing? If you're just like, hey, please don't eat me. It's a really bad idea to eat me. And like a mountain lion's going to be like, you're probably right, but I'm going to do it anyways.
I don't know.
It would depend on the level of hunger.
Exactly. Like
that's true.
What is it like in, what is a reference to Finding Nemo when Bruce, he gets that blood up his nose. Do you guys remember that? And then he just goes like hog wild.
Oh, right. The shark. Yeah. Once he smells blood, it's like instinctual, even if he knows people.
I think once they get in that state, it's kind of hard to take them because their instinct is to kill, when they're.
Oh, yeah. It'd be a blood, like the bloodlust.
Yeah. I mean, you could try it, Corey. You could try to reason with them, but it's not.
Yeah, we could try it, man. We could put you out there. That's like another thing of, how much does nature and be impactful of specific animals that are territorial? That could overrun your brain more than like wanting to be aggressive. Just being territorial of a space like bears would lead them to attack you regardless of if you could communicate with them. Maybe they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be like
my spot.
The idea of controlling them comes in.
Yeah. Right, you just stop
the
them
option of
from attacking you like instantly.
You'd be like Chris Pratt in those Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah, where just lazy puts his hand up and somehow it does everything. It's beautiful. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a thing where controlling an animal would be beneficial to the animal.
Yeah. Like only if it's in danger. If there's like a forest fire and you need to tell all of the woodland creatures to escape into a certain direction.
Right. That would be good. And I was going to say another thing of like controlling them would be like, you see these videos of animals who have plastic wrapped around them or something like that. And people usually will like either jump on them and try to help them. Maybe communicating to them that like, we're trying to help you would be, that's something that I think could be a positive.
To stop struggling. Yeah.
Stop struggling. We're trying to help versus, or knowing that something is sick. It would obviously make the vet's job a lot easier.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just talk to their clients.
My stomach hurts. Yeah. Just your dog in general or your cat at home, how many times do you have to take it to the vet with like, what the hell could this be? And then you have to rely on a blood test, which is astronomically expensive.
Right.
Speaking of expensive, living on the West Coast has caused us to take more ads than we'd like. So take your time to listen to these and we'll be back after. And we're back, guys. Good takes on that. Now I'm going to hit you with another hard question, a heavy hitter right here.
Oh God.
All right. Do you guys feel that animal ownership is ethical, or is it some type of weird slavery-esque dynamic?
I think I don't think it's slavery-esque. I think it's just directly slavery. I don't think it's adjacent, really. I think it just is that.
Right.
Because like even in owning an animal for me, like it is on a schedule that I set for it. It doesn't eat unless I feed it. It doesn't go to the bathroom unless I take it outside. I'm talking about my dog, by the way, or my turtle. Like I have to clean his home every week or so and cycle out the water and do all of these things. And he doesn't, neither of my animals have agency in the matter.
Right. Siler?
I'm going with what Corey said, but I mean, is it really, I don't know. Is it really slavery if you're giving it that animal the best life? Like, I mean, if you're treating it with like everything that,
Right. If your dog is out and it was wild, would it have the protection or the availability of medicine or a level of diet? Those things, that's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I can talk directly to that. My buddy rescued a husky from the redwoods, and they basically just found this dog wandering around. So they put it in their truck and then drove it all the way back up to Washington. And they took it to the vet and they figured out that the dog had Lyme disease and it had heartworms and quite a few other problems just from living in the wild, because those dogs most dogs aren't meant to be living like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And the heartworms were so advanced that the vet was like, listen, like if the dog was out there much longer, it probably would have died. So like, yes, it is now in a much better home. It's getting the treatment it needs because it didn't have any other options to get treatment while it was, out there and sick. Right. But again, like now it doesn't have choice on whether or not it stays. Like it now belongs to this person.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And like you're saying, like he is living a much, much better life. In fact, he's a fantastic dog and I really love him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. It's the that opens up the dynamic though for people who don't treat their animals right.
Yeah.
So it's like those people who are, there's something wrong with you if you're like abusive to animals. That's just straight up something that you have the ability to better a living thing's life, and you choose to directly hurt it or to torment it or anything like that.
Abandon it, yeah.
So that's the flip. That's the flip side, and it's legal. I mean, within reason, but it's legal for you to get. Anybody can go get a dog or a cat or depending on your state, whatever other animal, ferret or whatever. But then you just have to trust the betterment of that person's heart, that they're not going to be a terrible person to an animal. Which, I mean, is not flip a coin, because I don't think that many people are messed up like that, but it's definitely sad to see whenever you do see it.
Yeah.
I remember looking at dogs a couple of years ago with my mom, and there was one organization, and I can't remember which, unfortunately, off the top of my head, but you would basically lease the dog for about a month. And it was like, I guess, lease to own, for lack of a better term. But the organization would actually come to the person's house before they received the dog. Yeah. And do a checkup, make sure the space was livable for the type of dog, make sure that they were on the right food. And in fact, I think you even had to sign something about your income to prove that you could provide for the dog.
Oh, wow.
And
nice.
I think it's similar to like child adoption with all of the steps that they have to put into place for that. I thought that was really interesting, and I really respect the company for doing that and taking all of those steps to ensure a high quality of standard or a high quality of living for those dogs.
I wonder why that's not used like more often. Is it costly? Maybe. I
think people just don't give a shit. I mean, to be completely honest, because you can just you can go get an animal. If you want a dog, just go find one,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
like Cale was kind of getting at, there's just some shitty people who like don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That have that, like, that disconnect to where it's like, oh, well, I mean, everything, I mean, there's some kind of disconnect to where it's like, well, you know, I'm a higher level animal, essentially. And I'm like, this other thing's life is in my hands. It's like some people don't rise to the occasion for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about earlier, when I framed the question, we were talking about a form of slavery. Whenever I hear that in terms of an animal, would be more farm animals that do work to like plow the fields,
Okay.
or to haul things of this nature. That's where my mind goes to,
Factory owned stuff
in terms of like working animals.
Okay.
But at that same token, they do get, you know, in a situation, say horses, right? I live in a horseback riding area. My next door neighbors have 5 or 6 horses, but they get them fed every day, watered every day. They have decent shelter. They have a farrier come out. If people don't know what a farrier is, it's when you come out and you shave off the bottom of their hooves, you make it level, you put on the new horseshoes. That takes money. That takes effort to do, and that's maintaining a horse. So that's kind of a give and take. You do this for me, then I'll make sure that you're as healthy as possible. So there is that give and take where you are bettering that animal's life in terms of like making sure it's healthy in that way, but that's also self-beneficial.
Yeah. And to further drive the point, like, again, it doesn't have agency, and it doesn't get to choose anything about its life. It's being taken care, it's being cared for very well. But if it had a choice to be living there or living out in the wild with other horses away from people, you got to question which one would they make.
Right.
That's where
Absolutely.
the point of like talking animals will come in hand. Like, like, would you rather stay here with me and I take the best care of you, or would you rather, you know, be out in the wilderness and find your own way and, you know, wish you the best of luck? I mean,
yeah,
that would really
Absolutely.
come in
And
handy.
Tyler,
Go ahead.
Yeah, that ties into our next question perfectly. I'll cut you off right there. You've had enough. No, but the next question I was going to ask is love between people and animals reciprocated, and being able to communicate with animals, they would be able to reciprocate that in a way that you, other than body language or leaning on you or wagging their tail or curling up on you if you're a cat or something like that, that would be a way to know exactly, pointing to that question. Do you want to stay here and have this bond with me versus being away from everybody, not having to interact with people and being on your own?
Have your
It'd
own
be
life.
very interesting to find out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I have the question too, like that's kind of pinging in the back of my head is, so we're talking about like house pets specifically for this scenario.
Right.
Like cats and dogs that we currently have were bred so they couldn't survive in the wild. Like they have to have people's influence in order to survive and survive well.
Right.
Do you think, I don't know, how different do you guys think things would be if that interaction just that never happened? If cats and wolves had just never made that crossover? Because like there's evolutionary things that they have that they express love. Like Cale, you're saying they wag their tails, or like cats, they'll blink really slowly. Like I wonder, without bridging that gap tens of thousands of years ago or whatever, like would we still have this? Would we? Well, I guess we wouldn't have a relationship with them.
No.
They would be as foreign as, I don't know, like a python, you know?
Right.
That's,
Yeah,
I guess,
no, that's an
another
interesting
question. Like reptiles, people have reptiles as pets, and do they feel love?
Yeah, like
I guess it depends. I mean, I feel like the more people you would ask would say, oh, well, I love them. Well, do they love you back? Oh, I think so. Or yeah, sure. Because I think it's much more easy to justify a situation where you have a bunch of snakes and you say, I take care of them, all this other stuff. They care about me too, because it makes it easier for you to be like, oh, okay, well, that's a justification for having them in these glass cages. especially the big snakes, you see like all these things of, not specifically Florida or anything, but they have these giant snakes and they put them in these like almost like a fish tank.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, do they like that? I don't think they would like that, but I don't raise snakes, so
I don't really see it in like reptiles and all that. I've seen it more in dogs, how the human connection is with them. Like I've seen videos of people like pretending to pass out, and the dog will like go crazy and like try to help the person.
Absolutely.
And I've seen like different videos of them like connecting on that human level that haven't seen from any other animal. So yeah, dogs. I don't know, something about dogs.
And training for sure. There's a video. There's this person on TikTok that they have these little buttons. I don't know if you've come across this, Siler, but they're automated sounds that are English words. And she took the time. Yeah, right.
No, I haven't seen it.
I think that's awesome.
Tell me about it.
So there's she taught him there's just the yes or no buttons, and she would train the dog to understand yes or no or a few of these commands now, right?
Okay.
But I think, Corey, it's up to like it can do 50 different buttons and it can connect words almost to a sentence. Like outside now, please.
What?
And then there would be like situations where it says someone here. And then the lady's like, what? There's nobody here. Someone here. And they'd go look through the house. And then when it comes back, it says something like sorry or wrong or my fault or something like that. And it's like, if you took the time or if you had a universal like system of training animals to do that, you could probably have this communicative like back and forth between dogs and people or cats or whatever you could do, I guess, which would be very interesting. But then I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know what my dogs are thinking.
Right.
Like, you're annoying.
Why did I even put these buttons on here?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, take your button away. That's enough.
Have you guys heard of, I believe it's called Alex the Gray Parrot. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It sounds familiar, but honestly, I don't have the slightest clue. So let's go into it.
The Gray Parrot.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with him. So I'm just going to look it up real quick. All right, so and I'm looking at this now, so I'm not too familiar with it. If you at home know more information and you want to tell us, please let us know at talltailroundtable@gmail.com. We would love to be more educated on this. So Alex the Gray Parrot, to my knowledge, was a parrot that people bought and then started experimenting on learning language and empathy and feeling. And I think this bird could have almost near full sentence conversations with people, or like full, like we're saying, like string together a certain amount of words to converse with their owners. And
that's amazing.
It showed signs of being self-aware.
Sentient.
Yeah, like it talked about itself, I believe.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
There's a video or videos?
Yeah, I think, yes, I'm pretty sure there's video out there. And this is, I just found this. It's the one that I wanted to say. So I'm just going to read this from Wikipedia. Alex's death on September 6, 2007, at the age of 31, came as a surprise, as the average lifespan of a gray parrot in captivity is 45 years. His last words were, "You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow."
Oh man!
Oh dude!
Oh, that really they gave me chills. That's so strange. Oh.
I know, I got goosebumps on that one.
Yeah, but like this parrot, it understood love. It, like, obviously, well, maybe not obviously to some, but animals do feel empathy. They feel empathy for actions and things like that. And we also project a lot of humans' emotions onto them. But I just really think that's such a fascinating story about this bird who expressed that it was aware of itself. It knows what love is. It had that compassionate connection with its owners.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it said that knowing that it was dying, like, and sick? Or do you think it just like randomly just said that day?
I think it probably knew. I think animals kind of instinctually know when they're going to die.
Yeah.
That's like a thing with
just
cats.
Like how cats, they run away, right?
Right. Yeah. They'll go away and they'll get under something. So whenever they die, they're not eaten by something else. So they'll go and hide under a bush or under whatever they can get under. They know when it's time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I remember hearing stories about people working in nursing homes that have cats. And I've heard this from multiple sources, or multiple different times anyways, about the cats knowing when the clients are going to pass. So the cats will go into their room and lay with the clients as they pass on. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I think animals have a high sense of compassion. Like you said, they can pick up on energies way more.
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure. For sure.
Sounds good. Speaking of energies, get your energy up to hear these ads, or else.
You're out.
All right, guys. Siler's back from a beer run. We're ready to continue.
Thanks, man.
Beer.
Thanks, bro. That should be a sponsorship in its own right. Beer.
I feel like that's a Homer Simpson thing. Doesn't he say that or something else?
Yeah, I think so.
Donuts.
Oh, donuts.
He's like, donuts.
There you go.
Anyway, let's get back on track here.
All right.
This wasn't in the outline, but I just wanted to jump into this and see what your guys' thoughts were. People who take their animals, skydiving, or on the back of a motorcycle with them, or on surfboards or anything like that. Do you feel like that's a good thing to do? Or if the animals, you think they would get enjoyment out of that? Or do you think that's just the norm of them adjusting to something, whether they like it or not? This is what's going to happen.
Right.
Or do you feel like they actually physically enjoy it? What's your thoughts, Siler?
I feel like if it's like too extreme, like jumping out of an airplane might be too much. But you know how like dogs like put their head out of the window and like to be
right. That's like the ultimate
flapping in the wind. So I think they like some kind of like enjoyment, like stimulus.
That's fair.
But
right.
I don't know, putting them in a situation like you can't communicate with them, so you don't know what their level of comfort is. So it's hard.
Right, exactly. If they're like terrified of it and they just get used to it, or if they actually like really enjoy it. I'm sure there's cases where it's like absolutely, the dogs love being on a surfboard when they come into the shore, or on standing on top of a boat or whatever. I'm sure there's instances of that where they just absolutely love it. But I was just curious to see your thoughts, Corey. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Tyler here. I think it just depends on the situation that you're in and like the level of danger involved.
Right.
Because like I could see jumping out of a plane with a dog. In fact, I know the military does it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Does the dog know? Like after the first time, is it like, wow, I hope that never happens again? I don't know what the fuck that was about.
I survived this. And then you're just like finally back on solid ground. And then they go do it the next day for training. And you're like, what?
Right.
Absolutely.
But like, yeah, like surfing, like I could see a dog doing that. Or like I've seen some videos of like this bulldog who really loves riding skateboards.
Yes, dude. I love it.
Actively it cruises around on its own because it just has so much fun.
I love it because you'll see those videos and it'll like lean into the turn. Yeah. It'll like lean its little body one way or the other to turn in this parking lot. I'm like, that's badass. He's better than me.
A little sporty. I like that.
Exactly. Well, moving right along, now that we've had some joy, I'm going to bring it back to the darker side.
Here we go.
Could you guys eat an animal that you had raised?
No, that we've raised?
I think this more applies to a farm animal. But in other countries, I mean, they could eat whatever animal. I mean, if the need is strong enough.
I think I could eat Frank.
Oh, no.
I think turtle might taste a little better, but I think I could eat both of my animals.
Frank, if you're listening, I'm sorry, buddy, but the time is coming.
Run out the door, Frank. Run away, Frank.
He's got those little legs. He's not getting very far.
Yeah, he can't escape.
Oh my God.
So, all right. I think it's a 2-step idea. One is, could I eat it? Yes. Would I kill it to eat it? No. If it died of natural causes and it's like, well, I need to eat, then sure, why not?
Right, like situational. You're talking about like dire needs.
No.
Like you're not gonna like be able to go out to eat and just be like, well, there's 20 pounds of meat sitting right here, so I'll butcher my dog.
I don't feel like going to the 7-Eleven today. So
yeah, exactly. So might as well. It's already dead.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do the killing part either. It's no.
Yeah.
What if I killed it for you, Tyler?
Oh God, it's not good.
If there was nothing else, then maybe. But right now,
I think it would have to be dire straits. Like I'm gonna waste away if like I don't have it. I feel it's like my thought. Just because I mean, it's not even like an animal thing. It's just like I don't like hurting things in general or killing things. So I think that more is the baseline for my answer than anything. But I also think it depends on if you're raised hunting animals or like as a part of farm life. Right. Like my mom, they would have rabbits and like you would just go out and she was like young. I think she said she was like 5 or 6 and she'd just go club the rabbits.
Oh, club?
You just go club them or something. And then you're like, okay, this is what we're going to eat. And then my grandma would like cook it.
Right.
And stuff. And like that connection isn't there. It's more just like, that's how life is, you know, versus us where we're like, okay, well, everything's provided already. We don't need to kill our own food. You know, I think it's situational that way.
Aren't rabbits like fast as hell to club though? I mean, how did your mom do it?
I don't know. Maybe they gave her some sugar and she was just super hopped up. Let her loose in the yard. I don't know.
I didn't even ask her to do that. She just went around clubbing all the rabbits she saw.
Did it. It's a little, that explains a lot, actually.
God.
No, but I think it's like, yeah, if you're raised that way, I mean, it's like people whose parents hunt and then you experience that early on in life. You're not squeamish about a dead animal. It goes to an end.
Right.
And like, that's just part of your life. So I think it's situational, but for me, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. You at home, who's, this is part of your life. Reach out to us. Let us know because it is a fascinating question, I think. Like
for sure.
Yeah,
raising
definitely.
these like chickens and pigs and then slaughtering them for your family meal.
Right. Like, do you have like a disconnect where you don't like, you intentionally don't not get close to an animal, but do you not attach that level of love to it knowing that this is the end?
Right.
Or do you have that love for it knowing that it's going to be sacrificed for your health or sustenance or whatever? So I would like to know like how you see it. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we all live fairly sheltered lives. Like we all were born in the suburbs and around Los Angeles. So like we just don't have experience with stuff like that. It's never really been part of us.
True. Well, I mean, like I said, we're not, that's not part of our life. So, I mean, it's not a staple.
Yeah.
Right. So we're on the other end of the spectrum. Well, leading into our next question, we didn't really touch on this, but I'll just ask it. What are your views on hunting for sport versus for food or hunting in general?
I don't support hunting for sport like at all. It's just not me. It's never been. I'm not a fan of it. I don't get it, but I mean I know that people have their own like views. For food, if you were raised a certain way and you knew no other way. Maybe if you were in like the forest, it'd make more sense. But here in the suburbs, we have many options.
Right.
We can eat anything here.
Grubhub is a click away.
But like if we were out in the wilderness, I don't know where I'd get my tofu, man.
You'd have to grow it, bro. You'd have to grow some rice and find your naturally occurring food, right? Berries and whatnot.
It's crawling around on the floor with a fucking knife in his mouth.
Right. Just trying to hunt that tofu.
I actually agree with what Tyler said. I don't appreciate hunting for sport. I don't think it's acceptable, especially now in today's like age. I just don't think it's okay.
Right.
But hunting for food, regardless of status via class or wealth, I think is an acceptable thing. If you're hunting to feed your family or fishing to feed your family or yourself, like that's completely fine because I think at that point I would assume that people are doing it with a reverence for the animal to where, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to find this thing and we're going to use as much of this animal as we possibly can, so its life isn't just wasted for a single steak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a good opinion.
Well, I'm the same way. I don't agree with hunting. I mean, that's people's pastime or what they enjoy for the. I can't understand it. I've never felt the will to kill anything outside of being in LA traffic. I feel that daily. But other than that, no, I it's cliche, but life is not ours to take. I don't think there's anything in this world, if we're of higher brain power and all this other stuff, there's no excuse to kill other things unless it's, like you said, to feed your family, to sustain you. You can do whatever you want to sustain your life because that's most important in your world.
Yeah.
I'll do anything to keep my family safe or myself safe and within reason. But in terms of anything for sport, I absolutely can't stand it. I hate it. Trophy hunting is, I don't see the plus. I never seen somebody with a head mounted on the wall and I'm like, that's awesome. Right. I've never thought of that as you hiding somewhere and then shooting something from hundreds of feet away as a macho thing, as a masculine thing. I don't understand it.
Yeah, but what if it was an endangered species?
Even worse.
Yeah, I love that people are like, I need to kill it. Like, what's wrong with you?
And especially
you need to.
Especially when they take those. Have you seen like the pictures where they're like smiling and they get in groups and they're just like,
and they're all happy and they have like the dead animal. It's like, dude, that's like psychopath behavior. I'm sorry, man. I can offend whoever with that. That's my view. You could have a totally different view.
Hey, this is our show, man.
For you to be happy about using GPS locators and knowing this and knowing that and having camouflage and going and using a high powered rifle, that's not doing it for me, man. Right. So
yeah,
I am okay with well, I'll say I'm partially okay with like catch and release fishing. Mm-hmm. But it's still like traumatic for the animal. I mean, they're like within an inch of their life, and then you just like pop this metal. Imagine like somebody just running after you, shanking you in the mouth, and then being like, "You're good." They just tap you on the back, and then you're like, "You're free." And it's like
big one.
So I mean, at least that's better than clubbing it and taking it and eating it, I guess. But yeah, I don't like it. Like I'm echoing exactly what you guys said. We've been on the same page today, guys. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, hunting for sport, absolutely not. I think it's disgusting. But hunting to support your family, especially in like isolated regions like Alaska or just living off the grid. I mean, there you go.
Yeah, say Alaska. Like you don't really have much options, like due to the weather and everything. You have to.
Yeah, and when everything's flown in or this or that, or you have to like store meat and you like say you kill an animal and then you like freeze it to sustain you the whole couple months you're snowed in or whatever.
You kind of have to be a pescatarian, out there.
Right.
But yeah,
as somebody with multiple piercings in my face and who was actually caught on a fish hook, it's not a very fun experience.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What? When did this happen?
When I was like 6 or 7 years old, I was going to go fishing with my dad in the Colorado River. And he was playing around with a fishing reel before we left the house, like pretending to cast the line. And he like he tossed it back without looking and then threw it forward. And the thing like caught in my lip and fucking like he yanked on it. And we had to sit there and like push it through and then clip off the head and then pull it out. And it was not a fun experience.
You sure?
You sure?
Well, I don't know. I went and pierced my nose, so maybe I didn't learn.
So I mean, maybe that was just the precursor.
That was the start, yeah.
right.
And then this is the lead into our next thing, and just see your takes on this. Is there such a thing as ethical hunting in your eyes?
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to frame this when I read it, but then my mind triggered and I knew exactly what you were going for when you brought this up. But I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think there's absolutely ethical hunting. Like if we're like we've touched on already, if you're doing it for food or you're doing it for a purpose outside of a sport, then I think it can absolutely be ethical. But most of the ethical hunting that I'm aware of comes with like deer season. if I remember correctly, deers are kind of pests and they multiply really, really quickly. And
absolutely.
without a lot of natural predators in the wild, like wolves, bears, cats, things like that, they can really damage an ecosystem. So I think they actually, in some parts of the world, encourage people to go out and cull herds of deer.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah, because they're very disruptive, like Corey said,
they are?
to an ecosystem. They uproot. When they do stuff, they eat roots of plants and everything, so they can just decimate an area.
Holy crap. Okay.
Of all this foliage and plant life and everything. They can just rip up everything. It's same with hogs.
Yeah, boars.
Feral hogs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Not the Tim Allen, John Travolta motorcycle movie, but the actual hogs.
What a reference.
Well, I have that in my back pocket at all times. Wild hogs. Eden's going to hear this and she's going to love that. But yeah, so I mean, I know that they have just open hunting on hog populations because, like I said, they uproot everything, especially with their tusks, and they can just decimate entire areas. So I know that that's another portion of it. And in some parts, I believe in Montana, you'll have to fact check me. Email me, guys, if I'm wrong. But they have open season on wolves because their population is getting so strong. You're able to hunt wolves.
So that I'm going to push
in terms
back
of curbing it.
That
really? Okay.
Yeah. Every single thing I have ever read about the wolf population and humans hunting them has been absolutely deplorable, and I do not agree whatsoever with hunting wolves.
Same.
The arguments that I hear for it are, well, you have to kill wolves because they will come and eat your cattle. They'll destroy your flock or your herd or whatever. And I'm sure that is absolutely an issue. But when states like Montana and one of the Dakotas was just in the news again, they issue these licenses or calls to go kill these wolves. And then they've killed so much of these wolves that the population is reduced to tens.
Low, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, because people just can't help themselves, because then it goes into, like we were just talking about, sport shooting. Because there's nothing you can do with the meat, so they go and they kill it for fun. And Jesus. Like we're having problems all around the United States right now because of this very thing that we're talking about. It's like really a tragedy.
Recant my statement.
Huh?
I'd like to recant my statement. So it turns out that Mountain Men on History Channel is not correct.
Yeah, well, so like they're
bastards. They lied to me again.
They're part of the environment. Like, there's a reason that wolves exist. They have to like we were just talking about with elk and deer getting out of hand. Like when you have natural predators around them, then things like that don't happen. Right.
I'm with you. Yeah. I thought it was population control, but it sounds like it's just a open season call.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just don't really have wolves left in America. We've hunted almost all of them to extinction. And I think the Montana, what we're talking about was there was more than 1,200 wolves in an area of Montana, and they were basically hunted down to like a few hundred.
What?
And the call was to kill, I think, like 300 or 400 of them. And then they did 3 to 4 times the amount because people just have free reign and they don't care. And they're since they're dangerous animals, their lives aren't considered worth anything. And that makes me very sad.
Yeah, man.
Right. Speaking of hunting, we're going to hunt you down if you don't listen to these ads.
Bang, bang.
All right, guys. Well, you survived this time, but there's always next season. We'll be coming for you.
Nice.
Anyway, moving right along. Would it make a difference if the animal being hunted was a clone of another animal?
That's interesting. Because like one animal has to suffer for just one, but like you have an infinite supply of meat. that other animals don't have to, go through that. It's weird.
But this plagues the question: would a clone be sentient? Would a clone know that it's an animal? It would have the same.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to have that life
instincts.
Experience,
right? So if it were a clone, you're just terrorizing another animal other than the other one, and now you have to.
That's true.
Have whatever outcome of the ecosystem or anything is now doubled because you've cloned another animal.
But do you think that would be so? Yeah, do you think that would be a good option for sport hunting?
I think the animal's still going to
pretty
suffer.
Opposed to it, but like if you could clone rhinos and it's like, all right, well, we got one preserve. You can hunt any animal you want. We'll make a clone of it. And then it's dead, whatever.
No, I think the only way that I would justify that ever is for like clone hunting is you've got to have like a knife only.
Right.
Even the stakes, man. Even the stakes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you got to get in there. If you're going to get in there,
dirty.
you have to be close enough to get gored yourself. That's the only way I'll ever respect it. You got to be up close and personal.
Could you at least like tape the knife to a stick or something?
Just helicoptering it around or what?
Just to have a little bit of reach. Come on.
I don't know if it's possible to if they were able to take a piece of meat and clone the meat without making another animal. It'd just be like another piece of meat.
That's what they're talking about, right? That's like growing tissue, clone tissue.
Yeah, they can grow meat from stem cells right now, and the stem cells don't have to come from a negative source. Essentially, they can grow it. In fact, there was an article I saw not too long ago about them 3D printing meat using the stem cell, just like layer at a time. I think it takes a while.
It's wild.
That just doesn't. It's so foreign to me. That's crazy.
I know it doesn't like compute in your brain, right? Like print meat. It's like just creating organic matter from nothing.
Like you take the 3D machine, place a slab of like meat inside, just like starts creating.
Yeah, exactly. Like a thing of bacon, and then it'll just be like the inkjet. Right. Will be bacon instead of the freaking thing. I mean, if you were able to 3D print meat and do these things, I mean, you could take away a lot of the greenhouse gases that are emitted from animals, agricultural space, all of those things. So you would effectively be able to eliminate a lot of problems doing that.
I think that
and suffering.
I think that'd be a better way instead of cloning an actual animal that has, like that can actually feel pain. If you just clone the meat, it's like it never had like a
the consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't even
it never had a
There'd be no pain attached to it.
I would prefer that.
I think that'd be a way to go instead of like cloning the actual whole animal, like just parts
and then
of
you're
the
just
meat.
Butchering it.
Yeah.
It's like here's your life cycle is like 2 days, and you're just murdered.
Right.
It's like a fly.
I really hope that we get to see more of this stuff become commonplace, because I can't wait to live in the Star Trek universe where we can just order food and have it printed right in front of us.
Hey man, I'm waiting to live in the Spy Kids universe where you put that pill in the microwave and a Big Mac meal comes out. Oh yeah, baby.
I think it was
Shout out Spy Kids.
I think it was in The Fifth Element too. Like they put something in the microwave and it was like done in 1 second or something.
Right? Yep. Hey man, that might be the way of the future. I mean, we're effectively talking about 3D printing organic meat to eat.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not that far off maybe from, who knows, in 20 years time, 30 years time, what it will be available.
And I think you bring up a really great point too about greenhouse emissions, because right now cattle farming is one of the worst things we have.
Right.
In fact, it's fucking destroying Brazil right now, unfortunately, for the Amazon.
Absolutely.
But cutting down on methane gas from cows would be significant.
Would all be beneficial to the planet. People still get their fix of meat, and you're not causing endless suffering to other living animals.
Yeah, it seems like a win-win situation.
But now we're going to transition to dead-ass animals.
Oh.
Siler. Would you ever hang or have taxidermy in your household? What are your thoughts on taxidermy, guys?
It's pretty funny that you guys mentioned taxidermy, because I was doing a delivery today for UPS.
Oh,
and
God.
it was a business. They were closed, and I go to the back, and they weren't there. So I go to the front of the office, and then I see on the wall just like 2 deer heads staring directly at me. I'm
God.
like,
Instantly.
it's like, how is this like coincidence? But I don't think I could hang that kind of stuff in my house. Taxidermy, it's not me. Unless I don't know. If I knew that the animal like it wasn't hunted, it just like died naturally, then they stuffed it. But like
roadkill.
Yeah, but then the person entering your house, how would they know that it died that way unless you told them? But it's still kind of weird to me.
Oh, I see you noticed my taxidermy. Don't worry, I didn't murder.
Don't worry, I found it on the road.
Up to everyone.
It's a conversation piece
the first
for
thing.
Siler's house.
You see that on the wall? Don't worry, I didn't.
You just gotta have a plaque. Found, not killed.
Yeah. Oh God.
What about you, Corey? What are your thoughts?
I think I could have taxidermy, but it would be like really specific because I'm fucking weird. So one, like I would love to have my dog's skeleton like mounted after he passes.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Okay.
I just think that would be a nice way to keep him with me for the rest of my life. But like
for sure,
taxidermy makes me feel weird because I don't like looking at a dead animal. But the bones, like I don't know, I can. There's a disconnect for me that I'm fine with.
Right. I hear you.
But in saying that, if there was like a taxidermy dodo bird, yeah, I'd absolutely have that shit in my house.
For sure.
I'd love to see a dodo bird.
For sure.
So it'd have to be like a really, really niche animal, I guess, or maybe an extinct one that just without this, we wouldn't know what it looks like.
Right. I hear you.
What about you, Cale?
I'm kind of with Siler. I wouldn't. I don't need to celebrate death that way. I don't know. It makes you think though, like whenever you see animals like I was talking about earlier when we went on our camping trip, the little ranger station had all kinds of dead animals in there, and I was just like, how did they acquire this? You know what I mean? Like, it makes you question exactly Tyler's point. Like, how'd they get that? I would side eye Siler if I saw him with like a red panda taxidermy on the side of his house. I'd be like, how'd you get this?
Yep, immediately.
But for me, no, I've never really cared about it. I have a knife that I think was either my dad's or my grandpa's. That's like a deer foot.
Oh, okay.
And it's like that's the handle of the thing, and it kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
Is it like hairy?
Yeah, it's hairy. I'll have to find it and show you guys.
All right.
Yeah, post it on the Discord. I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I don't really like it though. It kind of not grosses me out, but it's kind of like I don't like that. Mm-hmm. So if it's just one part of an animal and I'm already kind of like, I don't think I would want like a whole ass animanimal.
So
I think I would skip it.
You could never keep a lucky rabbit's foot.
Oh my God.
Nah, I make my own luck.
Just cutting off people's feet.
Yeah,
the toes.
Give me your foot. Give me your feet. No, but taxidermy, it's a no for me. I feel like I would have that reaction like in Jim Carrey in the second Ace Ventura when he enters that room and it's like the trophy room and he just has that absolute like meltdown. What a lovely room of death.
So Corey, you said you're okay with the bones. You don't think you could like have Frank like just like stuffed and like he was like alive? No,
I don't. That would just be. You know what? I think it would be. I think it would just make me very sad.
Oh no!
So like, if I'm looking at the bones, like again, it's a level of being removed because like they were
right.
They weren't something that I saw every day. Whereas like getting my dog stuffed after he passes, which if you do that is perfectly acceptable to me. You know, do what you want. That's your animal. Show love in your own way. But I wouldn't want to see my dog anymore after it passes.
Gotcha.
Outside of pictures or drawings or maybe the bone statue that I'll get. It would just make me very sad. Because then like, what do you do with it? You keep I like my dog passes in like 5-6 years or whatever, and then I got 40 years with a taxidermy dog that I had when I was in my early 30s. Like,
yeah,
who is this for? Like I gotta take it with me when I move. I gotta explain to people. Like fucking Tyler comes into my house, be like, "Hey, I didn't kill it. All right,
Hey,
I just got it
That was
stuffed."
my dog from 20 years ago. Leave me alone.
he hasn't aged one bit.
I know. Frozen in time.
But also too,
Exactly.
like, yeah. I mean, seeing it frozen in time, like I would always see him at the very last stage of his life, and I don't know if I could get over that.
You're just like staring into his sad eyes. Oh,
Yeah, and he's a basset hound, so they're always just like,
A little droopy anyway.
yeah.
Just trip over him in the night. Oh,
Oh, dude, I would too. I'd like move him around the
1000%.
house.
1000%.
man.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to move on to the next stage of our conversation now. That has to deal with our dietary choices and choosing to eat meat or not, and why we have different diets and why we eat the way we do. I'm going to start off with Siler
Of course.
and take it away, and then we'll go roundtable on it.
All right.
Explain your diet.
I've been vegan for probably a little over 2 years.
So
Yeah.
it's a long time, man.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's easier because my girl's kids have allergies to dairy and some other things like peanuts and all that, but a lot of it has to do with dairy. But I found ways to, adjust, and it's not bad at all. At first it was a little hard, but I got used to it. I feel much better. My face is cleared up a lot. I noticed when I used to eat dairy and meat, I would have like a lot of acne, and my face would be more fuller, and I just felt off. But I feel good now.
And now you're looking gorgeous.
Ooh, shiny.
Damn.
Plus, they make a lot of alternatives these days, just like the real thing. So you could get a burger anywhere and
Right.
pretend.
Almost any fast food restaurant now, right?
Yeah.
Like has it either Beyond Meat or Impossible Meat or whatever. So hey.
Why do I do it? Part of it's for my health, and the other is for I don't like the way the animals are treated in the farms. You watch so many of those videos.
Right.
You showed me a video. You told me to watch one a long time ago. What was it called?
Oh, What the Health or The Game Changers? I've suggested
I think it's that one.
a couple.
That one. The Game Changers.
Game Changers. Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah. Just watching a couple of them, it just changed my perspective a little bit. Plus, I used to watch like those farm videos on my own time, and it's I don't know why I did it to myself, but it just made me sad.
That's a weird pastime, Siler. I got to admit, that's a little red flag issue. Corey and I sidebar after this.
What? It's like
Yeah, we're gonna have to
just
talk
doing
about this.
research. Curious.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. No, but I understand. So your thing is obviously you feel better. You feel you look better, and your ethical reasons, right? So that ain't bad. Corey, you wanna go ahead with yours?
Yeah, but before I hop into mine, I actually have a question for both of you guys on this. So, with vegan consumables, covering a wider range of foods you can eat, from like burgers to chicken nuggets to ribs, things like that. Do you like that vegan foods are trying to emulate meat products? Because like I'm kind of, I don't really get it personally.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I have a buddy that's on the same boat as you. He's like, I hate that they try to imitate everything. Like, why not just
Why make it a burger?
Yeah, like just make it its own thing.
yeah,
Why
you
make
can
it a
make it anything.
sausage?
Why
Right.
is it this?
Right. It's like I agree with you in that. It's almost like you're trying to convince somebody, oh, this is just as good, when it could be its own standalone, your choice, your thing.
Just,
But you have to like you said, emulate
just
a
gotta,
product that you're actively campaigning against or feel like you don't want to participate in.
Right.
I agree. That is a weird business model.
just trying to pretend, Corey. That's all, man.
It's all pretend.
Hey man,
Right.
I'm not gonna try and break that immersion.
I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding, but yeah.
Yeah, so I eat pretty much everything.
Ooh.
I'm not too conscious about my diet in terms of like the ethics behind it, but in saying that, I do eat a lot less pork, because like doing research into the pork industry or the cattle industry is really really horrific.
Yeah, man.
So I guess I guess I'm somewhat conscious. I try not to eat meat a lot. Like I'll eat meat in my meals like 4 times a week. But other than that, I mostly try and eat like I eat a lot of dried goods. So pastas, grains, lentils, couscous, beans. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you kind of mix it up.
I try and have a varied diet.
Right.
Or varied diet, excuse me. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with you guys. Like there is a hard ethical line that is drawn, and every time you buy that 12-pack of chicken breasts that they raised in small cages, it's like I don't feel good about this.
Right. That's the double-edged sword for sure. I've used that term several times today, but it's true.
Yeah. What about you, man?
I guess there's a term for what I am, and it's called flex, but I think it's total bullshit to even call it that because it's just indecisiveness for me. Mm-hmm. I tried the vegan diet. I believe I did it for, I don't know if you remember, Siler, when I did it or not. I did it 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I agree with you completely health-wise. I felt better than ever. Like no inflammation, energy, clarity of mind, all this other stuff. And then for whatever reason, I guess just being either a heavier set person or used to eating it, I went back to eating meat. Instantly felt shitty, but that like comfort food aspect of it to me kept coming back for me. And going out with the guys, it's not an excuse for that, but like Korean barbecue is one of my favorite things. For whatever reason,
damn it, you beat me to it.
Yeah, one of those. For whatever reason, that's one of the like most enjoyable like food things for me. But I'm going back vegetarian, and I feel like I'll probably stay that way for the foreseeable future. I can't say forever because I really was feeling my best that I ever have, and I went back to eting meat for no real reason other than like either laziness or just fitting in with, Debbie, my wife, she eats meat, and, they would just cook these meals, and then I just found myself back in it. It's not her fault. It's all willpower or your choices. Mm-hmm. But the more I see, just from personal testament, there's all the ethical reasons to do it. Like you said, the methane release, agricultural land, a huge proponent of our world is now agricultural in terms of like livestock versus crops, which is a huge problem. But for me, it's just, I felt so much better not doing it. And I just like willingly subject myself to feeling less than optimal. Mm-hmm. And, it's just a cycle mentally that I have to break. And I feel a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people struggle with that, but I definitely have. And so like the term is flex, where you go vegetarian or not. But I don't really believe in the term. I feel like I just been, just kind of absent-minded in my food choices, and I just really need to dial back in. I don't want to eat meat anymore. And
I mean, do whatever works for you guys, man. I mean,
right, for sure, for sure. It's like we were talking before the show. I said I had a pork chop last night because Debbie didn't want to waste it, and I had a gut bomb.
It's backfired.
Heavy pork. Pork is my favorite thing, Corey. You've known that for a while. Yeah. Like that's just been my thing forever. So giving that up is hard, but at the same time, there's so much more benefits in like that. And Siler's never given me shit, which is really funny because ethical reasons and his diet, he's very standalone. Do what you want. I'll do what I want. And it's personal experience, but he's never given me shit whenever I'm like, I'm at Korean when I'm supposed to be vegetarian and stuff, which has been really cool.
I see the videos like I said,
I know he's always like calling me. He's like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh no." But
it's all right, man.
I don't know if I could do vegan again just because of the limitations.
Yeah.
But definitely I got to cut meat out again. It's just more than anything now. It's for health reasons, and then just the ethical side weighs on my brain.
Let me ask you this: Would you guys rather cut out meat or dairy?
Meat.
I think meat as well, because I don't eat dairy much. Like, I don't like milk. The only dairy I really have is cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be, it'd be easy for me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
I feel meat makes the most difference. So
for sure.
Speaking of that, you're gonna meet our new sponsors. Thanks for listening to those ads, guys. That really helps us out. I have another ad for you directly from the source. Siler, did you want to plug a certain restaurant or a former place of business?
Oh, I got you guys. I'd like to shout out 4 places for this episode. First of all,
goodness.
where I met the love of my life, Follow Your Heart. Oh, yeah. The one I mentioned earlier. They have, that store is just filled with stuff. Their food's pretty good too. They have anything from like mac and cheese to pizza. You got Asian stuff. Yeah.
And they have a restaurant inside the store that I've eaten at with you. Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, they have a bar and sit down area. They have a patio. Yeah, it's really nice in there.
Very nice.
And where's this at, Tyler?
This is located in Canoga Park, California.
Okay.
So if you guys,
so if you're anywhere else, whatever.
no,
is it a chain or?
No, it's not a chain. It was I think there's only one or two.
Damn, one of one.
One of one. But
Slim pickings.
yeah, if you guys get a chance to go there and try some of their food, let us know in our Discord. We'd love to know your opinions. Moving on to the next one. This is more like a fast food burger place called Monty's. Cale's had it before. I don't know if I don't think Corey has. Yeah, you got your doubles. You got your fries with the animal style, the onions and cheese, tater tots. You got shakes.
Ooh.
It's pretty much everything you think in like a fast food place.
And it's all vegan?
Think In-N-Out, but vegan.
Exactly.
Wow. And it's stellar, dude.
It's open
the
late.
The sauces are really good. Oh. It's open late. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'd love to go there. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're going to be here. True. We'll have to make a trip down.
But this next one, I think Cale leans more towards. It's called El Cocinero. It's vegan Mexican food. He loves the chicharron burrito. That's the best meat there. Yeah, man. Me and Tina love that.
Oh, bro, vegan chicharron,
dude. It's delish.
I very rarely use this term in my life, but I can definitely sign off on it being used. Foodgasm is what occurred when I had a bite of that burrito and it had the habanero sauce. Oh, dude. Highly endorsed. It's just Mexican food.
It's not like a regular burrito either. That thing is like loaded. It's huge.
It's a monster, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I slammed it down, but that thing is a monster of a burrito.
Yeah. They got nachos there. You can do fries with meat in it. They have consomme, vegan consomme. It's crazy, man.
What's that?
It's like a dipping sauce for it's like
usually have it with like birria.
Yeah, it's like that red. Do you know that red sauce?
Birria tacos. It's like a consomme. You dunk your tacos into it.
That stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's another place called Time Pizzeria. It's kind of by where I live in Canal Park. Cut that part out, but
yeah, at my it's approximately 16 blocks from me, westward facing.
Yeah, there's another place called Time Pizzeria that me and Tina love, and I've made a connection with the guy there. His name is Arthur. He gets his cheese and everything from Follow Your Heart, actually. So when I used to work,
what type of connection? A love connection?
No. It's because I don't know. We just get along really good, and he'll
That's
great. Yeah. Their pizza's amazing. The barbecue one is. I've had it for my birthday. You probably had it.
Absolutely. I was going to bring that up. You had that for your birthday, and it was fantastic. Now that I'm hearing it, I've had all 4 of those places thanks to you.
Yeah. So
damn TFTI.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
I see how it is. I'm not part of the vegan club.
Damn it. You're out. You're in.
A vegan pizza sounds dope, though. I've had a gluten-free pizza before, and that was pretty interesting. A place called Hot Lips here in Portland. But I don't think I've ever had a vegan pizza.
Yeah.
Is it like...
It's different.
Because it's a different kind of dough, right? Because you can't have...
Couldn't really
does pizza dough have egg in it? I don't know.
Some. Maybe.
Flour.
But
No, flour's not a animal product.
But this pizza dough doesn't like taste like any different than like a regular pizza would. Did you
No,
notice?
it tasted really good.
Yeah.
I was going to say it sounded good. It sounded good too.
It sounds good.
Good crunch.
Sounds
Sure.
good to me.
It's got a good mouth feel.
Mouthfeel, exactly. All right, Siler, does that wrap up your list or what?
Yeah, let's hear some of your guys's.
I have nothing.
any.
So Corey, go ahead.
I just actually just have a couple brands I want to call out. I had a partner who was vegetarian, so she introduced me to quite a few different food options and alternative meat options. One of them that I still buy for myself, it's called Corn.
Oh, yeah.
Quorn.
Not the band.
They make a lot of like meat substitute stuff that's really, really good, and it's really easy to cook.
Beautiful.
You have to kind of add like almost double the amount of spices to cooking it than you do other foods, but like it absorbs it really well, and yeah, it tastes great.
Nice.
Man.
Another brand that I really like is Morningstar. I know I was pitching earlier about like
I was gonna say that, man.
The
My
patties,
favorite.
the spicy patties.
Those patties are super good. They
I
got
remember
the
the
black
buffalo
bean burgers,
chicken.
and
I remember like
I think they also make chicken nuggets, which again I was calling them out earlier, but those chicken nuggets do taste really good.
Oh, they're super good, man. I'd buy those buffalo ones.
I forget what month it was, but I think Cale would FaceTime me or something. Like we were gonna like play on Xbox or something. But every time in the FaceTime call, I'd see him eating one of those patties, and he'd just like go through bags of it.
The
spicy ones?
Before
Yeah.
before the inflation happened and they got really expensive, so I don't have them as often anymore.
Yeah.
But before they would always be on sale because nobody was eating them.
Right.
And dude, I'd come home with bags and Debbie would just like be like, God damn it. There's no room in the freezer for that.
Yep.
And I'd have
Don't
like
make room.
10 because it'd be like 3 for $9. I think it's like $8 almost for a pack now.
Oh wow.
It's crazy. I still buy them occasionally because I have them for my work lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you brought up Morningstar because a lot of their stuff is vegan now. I think
It used to have-
majority of their stuff is vegan.
They used to
Oh,
be
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they used to have milk, but now I think they're leaning towards vegan more. Yeah, their products. Yeah,
like the patties and the chicken nuggets, like you were saying, Corey. All that stuff is certified vegan now,
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
and it tastes fire, man.
Yeah,
it's less carbs, less fat, everything.
That's one thing that like, as opposed to the Corns, Morningstars are something I never had to like season after the fact. They were just tasty
Right.
as is.
Yeah, which is very convenient.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, especially if you're like hesitant about getting into vegetarian food like I was, and you find these brands that are just delicious right off the bat, it really comforts you really quickly when you realize like, oh, it's no different than eating just regular food, because it is regular
Right.
food.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. There's a couple more brands that I like to share too. There's a good brand called Daya. I like their cheese. Oatly Milk. That's a pretty good brand. I don't know if you've seen ads for it. They usually have them on like benches or on buses, but
Yeah, I think
yeah. And I don't know if you guys are fan of Egg, but Just Egg is a good brand that I like for. It's just like the real thing. It cooks like
Right.
Yeah, we usually do that for breakfast in the morning. We'll mix up
It's a
some
vegan egg?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like a scramble. You could
It's like a puree almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
In a squeeze bottle.
you can
Yeah.
make
Oh.
it scramble or however you. However
That's
you like.
wild. Do you know what it's made from?
Is it
Eggs.
Oh.
I would go get the bottle for my fridge, but that's a mission. I'll get back with you guys on that.
Okay.
That'll be
Yeah.
a follow-up question.
Yeah. All I know is this kid. But
That's cool,
yeah.
man. Well, when I come back to town, you guys are going to have to take me to Monty's and follow your heart
Ooh.
and
For
the other
sure,
two
man.
places you guys you were talking about, because those sound really good. And after all this talk, maybe I will make the switch and at least try and go vegetarian more often than not.
Oh!
My guy.
It's about
That's saying something.
quality of life, right? I'm hoping to live for a while now.
Absolutely. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
That is a positive to take away from all this. And that's not a easy decision, because in Portland, when we went with Lester and Dosing and all those guys, the food up there is insanely delicious.
Yeah.
When we went to Lardo's, the name suggests.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
It just suggests what it is.
Yeah.
But, dude, unreal.
What is it, just like a pork house or what?
Like that
what do they have there?
Heart attacks, cardiac arrest.
They have like, dude, one of my favorite things there is, so I love French dips. So they have a French dip that's the dipping sauce is a pho broth. And the meat that they use is a little bit different. But man, that's really tasty. But I think they're also known for their dirty fries. It's French fries with pork belly that's been like fried in garlic, and they got like a bunch of Parmesan on it, and
so they're greasy as hell, or what?
Oh, no,
that's like dripping, like Daglin style.
That's like hangover food.
It's like actually surprisingly not greasy. The dirty fries.
Okay.
I don't know how, but they definitely like will just sit in your stomach forever.
For sure.
But they are delicious.
Yeah, because we had those when I was up there, and then I had like a pork shoulder banh mi.
Yeah,
dude, one of the best things I've ever had in my life. And then, like you said, it just sits in your stomach, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
On the way down, it's good, but then once it's in there, you're like, oh god.
Oh man,
definitely. But I'm encouraged to hear that, Corey. That I did not expect that. So that's breaking news.
Hey, man, you guys convinced me.
Nice, bro.
You heard it here.
Now you at home have to call me out on it.
Right.
Perfect. You're like, I don't get it, but I'm going to do it. I like that.
Well, I know in our outline, we kind of wanted to end the episode on a little bit of a high note. And I wanted to bring it back to Cale. Cale, since we're talking about animals and diets and things like that, and hopefully longevity, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what you're doing? Oh, you got a project in the works.
Right. Well, this has been something that I've been trying to figure out the logistics for a couple of years now. I've had dogs all my life, and my parents had always had animals, and I've had a soft spot for older animals. My sister actually brought home a dog from work that was a dog that lived there at her place of business, and they were gonna basically take it to the pound at some point because nobody wanted to take responsibility for the dog anymore. Mm-hmm. So she ended up bringing it home. I had a soft spot. I was like, okay, let's do it. And he's living his best life now for the past couple of years. I think he's 16 or 17 now.
Wow.
And I couldn't bear the thought of the little old dog who's mostly blind and mostly deaf going somewhere, cold and unaware and everything. I couldn't bear the thought of that. So yeah, we added him to the family. He's the third dog we have right now. And then my other dog is 17 now. So I have a couple older dogs.
Oh, wow.
But what you're referencing to is I want to do something with my wife in terms of end of life care for older dogs and animals that aren't getting adopted or aren't as, I guess you would say, adoptable, being an older age and near the end of life. And we've had the space. We have a big lot here, so we want to be able to take in older dogs that are closer to death or just plain older that have been kind of overlooked and have them live out their days here and kind of have it be a sanctuary for some older dogs. Just take care of them how they deserve to be taken care of. And that's the plan as of now. I think we're maybe a year and a half away from that. I just want my dogs to live out their life without like all this chaos of bringing all these other dogs in at the very end of their life and disrupting everything. That's cool. But I definitely feel passionate about it. I mean, it's relatively cheap to adopt older dogs, and it's very rewarding. Yeah. And we're going to make it happen. It's just a matter of time. So that's what I have in the works.
Yeah, I think that's really great, man. Like you have the space for it, and the fact that you're able to utilize this and really just give these dogs a happy home is just, it says a lot about you. And I really wanted our listeners to hear that about you.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's hard to do because, well, I mean, death is not a fun thing. And when you're taking care of older dogs, like that can be rough. So it's really cool that you're taking this on.
So
an inevitable thing and make their passings lighter, hopefully.
For sure.
Yeah. And go from there. It takes a toll, but that's part of the responsibility as You guys know that's part of your responsibility is taking care of an animal. You sign up for that heartache at the end, but that's a testament to how strong your bond was with that animal, you know?
Yeah. So, we'll check back in with you on that later on and see how that's going. To see if
I'll just be crying all the time. Oh yeah, man, it's going great over here. You know? Just let's do a walkthrough sometime. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I always see these posts on my feeds on every social media. Oh, we don't deserve dogs, and it'll be a video of a dog doing something super wholesome, and I'm like, yep, that's even more reinforcing all the time for me to be like, yeah, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And my wife, Debbie, you guys obviously know her. She's such a kind spirit and such an old soul. I mean, she loves animals. So it was like, I kind of didn't know how she was going to react. And I brought it up and she was like full on board, like right off the bat. And I was just like, that's amazing.
That's great.
So we'll make it happen and we'll see how it goes. But that's the plan.
Yeah. Make sure to, as time goes on, show some updates on the Discord, because I'm sure our fans would love to see.
For sure.
See everyone you got running around.
I'll do like a profile on each dog. Breakdown. Man. But no, speaking of that, Siler, I know right now your situation. I don't think you have any animals over there, but is there an animal you've had that you would want to get again, or that you've never had and you've wanted to have?
I want a husky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dogs now.
Something about them. Beautiful. That's something I would want. I don't know if we can have, I don't think we could have pets here, but when we get our own house, definitely have to, get one of those.
Right.
Huskies are very funny dogs.
The kids would, I imagine the kids would just like play with it all day and just make them run after each other. Yeah.
Dude, they would love that. I'm sure.
Get the exercise in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What about you guys? What kind of pets would you want? Or, yeah.
Well, so I have, like I mentioned earlier, I have a dog named Frank. He's a little basset hound.
Frank.
He's about 6 now, almost 6 years old.
Oh, man.
Wow. I know. It's the time, dude.
That is flying.
But I also have a turtle. His name is Turtle. And I've had him since I was 12.
Wow.
I got him when he was the size of a quarter. And now he's... I don't know. What's a good size reference? I don't know. He's pretty big. His shell's probably like 7 inches from tip to tip.
Wow.
Maybe not that big, but he's a chunky little boy. And I'll probably have him until I die. I'm actually pretty happy about that one. Hopefully if I have kids, they'll get to inherit him. Red-eared sliders which is the type of turtle that I have, they're supposed to live between 20 and 60 years in captivity.
Oh my goodness. God.
So, yeah.
Who knows, man? 60 years.
Yeah, he's approaching 20 now. Oh, so he is 20, actually. Yeah, he's 20 now. So
wow.
From here on out, it's just kind of guesswork, just trying to give him the best life I can. And I've done some things like, it's an aquatic turtle. I've tried to have like plants in there, but he just eats them. So I'm really hoping that once I'm able to upgrade my housing and my space, my dream is to have a little pond outdoors in my backyard. I'd love to get like a kiddie pool and put that level with the ground and just like have this whole area for him where he can run around and do stuff, and then just cover it with chicken wire.
Some koi?
That way no birds or anything can get in.
Right. Raccoons.
What about some koi?
Bastards.
Some koi fish.
Some koi?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You'll eat those too?
Yeah, I don't think so. Last time I tried to put fish in there, he was really scared of them. So I think if I got like big kois, like maybe not. But that's
just
my dream for
out.
that. I don't think I have any other animal plans for the long term, unless I have meet a partner who has an animal or a dog already.
If I just got you one of those hairless cats, what do you call them? They have a name now.
Nope.
An abomination.
Yeah.
That's what you call them.
Come on, man. Skin.
Siamese
they're
cats.
fine.
Wrinkly.
All life is precious.
Yeah, those. I'm not on board with those things. No.
No?
Just no.
Right.
We'll have to give it to Cale for end of life term or care.
It's like, why me?
Like right off the bat.
Right up yeah,
As a kitten. End of life. Here we go. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. Well, we've been down the whole spectrum of animals today, and it was interesting to see your guys' thoughts and have this discussion. I was glad to hear it. If you guys have any thoughts out there, be sure to message us at talltaleroundtable@gmail.com and let us know what animals you have or how you feel about the topics that we brought up today.
Yeah.
Corey, what are your social media handles where people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you'd like to reach out to me, you can follow me and message me on Instagram at corey.andre, Corey.Ondrey.
Who?
What about you, Sprunkler?
Sprunkler. What is that? You can find me on Instagram at Teelo43. That's Teelo and the number 43. And I also stream on Twitch sometimes when I have time. Always working. But that's Sushi Moose. Just straightforward, just sushi and then the moose right after it. Yeah.
To add to that, we're
Very
actually
nice.
talking about getting some Twitch streams going in the near future. So if you guys want to play video games with us, reach out to us and we'll see if we can get something going.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Custom lobbies.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
All right. Well, where can we find you, Miller?
I am talltailcale _ between each word on both Instagram and Twitter. And I got enough, not hate mail, but enough people making comments about me switching my TikTok name that I actually switched it back. I was bullied into it. Yeah, basically. So I'm once again bearded _ giant on TikTok. I've been posting some ridiculous crap on there. So if you want some mindless entertainment, I'm on there. And as always, we'll be back next time with another episode. Looking forward to it, and we'll tell you later, bras.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Thank you for joining us today.
Later.
See you guys.
Laters.
Bye.
Later, Gator. This show has been brought to you by the Tall Tale Network. If you enjoy our content, please consider following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon, where we can be found as Tall Tale Network. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get an invite to our Discord server, where we will be answering questions and posting our sources from each week's episode. If you have any tall tales you want us to talk about, please email us at talltalenetwork@gmail.com. Let's ride!